Before we get to the latest 49ers injury news and the fraudulent Rams franchise for limiting ticket sales to those outside of the greater Los Angeles area, I've had a bunch of people hit me up and ask me, Chase, how do I get notified every time you go live on Tuesday, every time you go live for a watch party, or anytime you push out a video right here on the 49ers Report? I'm here to provide answers and help all of you out because the 49ers Report is a channel of San Francisco. So if you're watching on YouTube or the YouTube app, you can simply hit that bell icon. Therefore, anytime we do publish a video, you will be notified. Or on your phone, go to the settings app, scroll down and tap YouTube, tap notifications, turn on and allow all notifications. And of course, you got to subscribe to the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. Live shows every week, Liddy watch parties, free daily videos, the best audience interaction with the faithful. We are approaching 53,000 subscribers. Join the faithful family here at Chat Sports, and let's get the show started. Niner gang, what it do? It is NFC Championship game week, and you're watching the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Sr. Before we get to the phony Rams, we have some injury updates for you with some really marquee players on this roster heading into Sunday's game at SoFi Stadium, which I believe is going to be a sea of red, even if the Rams are going to try to limit San Francisco fans from buying some of those tickets. So we start off with the latest around Trent Williams. Was really banged up going into the game against the Packers on Saturday night, and he left even more banged up. He's been banged up the last couple of weeks because of an existing elbow injury. Now, there's an ankle injury on top of that. And when you get to this point in the NFL season, when we're in the Final Four, a bevy of players across the league for the remaining teams are going to be bruised up and battered. But for Trent Williams, he especially is that. Appeared to get his ankle rolled up on in the third quarter of that epic win against Green Bay as the snow was coming down at the cathedral of NFL football. It is deemed an ankle sprain. The good news is the x-rays came back negative. He missed week 18 with that aforementioned elbow injury. He's going to be managed this week because of the ankle injury, and his status is unknown going into Sunday's game. And if you remember, he missed that 17-point comeback in week 18 at SoFi Stadium against the Los Angeles Rams. Niners really need him back because he's so dominant in the run game and pass game, the highest graded player according to Pro Football Focus on both sides of the ball during the 2021 NFL offseason. From the trenches to the secondary defensively, an update on the rookie cornerback Ambry Thomas, third-round pick out of Michigan, who over the last month and change has really impressed and has really developed at a great rate. According to Kyle Shanahan, Thomas doing much better now than he was doing over the weekend because of that bone bruise in his knee. And last week, I kind of said this, I question his status going into that game because that's an injury that can really linger and affect you. He's emerged as one of the 49ers' best cornerbacks in this secondary that has really picked it up alongside K'Wan Williams. The secondary at the safety spot really solid now and has been with Jimmy Ward, Jaquaski Tart. Emmanuel Mosley stepped up, and Dante Johnson, Josh Norman, when their names were called when they were in the lineup on Saturday, they were really good against Devontae Adams, especially going with those double teams. And if you remember with Ambry Thomas, he came through and there was a massive loud crowd roar in week 18 to cap off that comeback against the Rams when he picked off Matthew Stafford for that pass intended for Odell Beckham Jr. As for Jeff Wilson, has a low ankle sprain, and this is a low ankle sprain as compared to a high ankle sprain. Now, if you suffer a high ankle sprain, usually you miss a couple of weeks. Jeff Wilson does have a chance to play on Sunday for the right to make it into Super Bowl 56. Lastly, Deebo Samuel, who has emerged as, outside of quarterbacks, the most valuable offensive player in the NFL, in my opinion. He took a helmet to the knee, so it actually wasn't an ankle injury that we had thought it was originally, and he should be back for practice on Wednesday. Deebo said after the game, "I was hurting all game, but I'll be all right." He left the field on multiple occasions, limping, gasping for air. He took a shot to the ribs at one point as well, but for Deebo to get back onto the practice field on Wednesday, if that is the case, all signs pointing toward him playing, and really through the ground and through the air, he has been phenomenal, like most valuable player level stuff from Deebo Samuel, and a true game changer and altering player who could be the difference going up against a very good Rams defense on Sunday. There's also this from David Lombardi of The Athletic. He said, Kyle Shanahan says that the only way Trey Lance would have had a chance to start over Jimmy G this season would have been if the 49ers had fallen out of contention. So he said Garoppolo's obviously been the 49ers' best QB1 option for winning now all throughout the year, and it's kind of hard to argue that. I know a lot of people are going to say, Chase, you were calling for Trey Lance to play at times, and I was, because the offense, especially during that 3-5 start, was sluggish. They were inconsistent. They were stagnant, and I thought they needed more pop. I thought they needed a little bit more explosion. I thought with Trey Lance, they'd be a little bit less predictable, and he would help because he's a dual-threat quarterback, the run game and the pass game. But it is really hard to argue about Trey Lance leading the Niners to the NFC Championship game. Would he be able to do that? I would probably say no, even though Jimmy Garoppolo, the last couple of games, hasn't even played all that well, because history shows you that a rookie leading a team to the precipice of a Super Bowl is extremely rare. So, hey, that's what Kyle Shanahan had to say. I do still expect Trey Lance to be the starter for San Francisco in 2022. And because the Niners continue to win, Jimmy Garoppolo has continued to increase his trade value on the trade market. Speaking on about being on the precipice of making it in to Super Bowl 56, Niners one game away. NFC Championship game appearance for the 5th time in 11 years. They've been one of the most successful organizations in the NFL over the last decade plus, and now they're about to make it and can make it to the Super Bowl for the 2nd time since 2019. Really good run for Kyle Shanahan. People were calling for his head after that slow start. He's really turned this group around. Niners playing flawless football on both sides, and they go into this game as underdogs once again. 3.5-point favorites, the Rams are. Over-under set at 47.5. This game kicks off 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. 3:30 p.m. Pacific. We'll, of course, be doing a watch party right here on the Niners Report. Last week, Saturday night, more than 100,000 people joined us. Let's do that again. Let's duplicate that success. It's not possible without the Niner gang. Now, if you want to bet on this game on Sunday, you can do so thanks to our sportsbook partner, BetUS. You go to chatsports.com/49bet, enter the promo code Niners125. They're offering the best deal that any sportsbook has to offer. You already know I'm taking the Niners plus 3.5 as underdogs. Let's continue this flurry. Let's continue this improbable run as underdogs. I'm taking the Niners as dogs, getting 3.5. You can as well. Just go to chatsports.com/49bet, that link below me, and enter the promo code Niners125. Now to a big talking point that has really dominated the social media streets, and it's dominated 49ers Twitter, and has been the main talking point among the faithful. The Los Angeles Rams, folks, are scared of the faithful taking over SoFi. Now, this all started back in Week 18 when, for the first time, because there were no fans at games last year, the San Francisco fan base was able to infiltrate SoFi Stadium and make that road game a virtual home game for San Francisco and turn SoFi into Levi Stadium South. And after that game, Kelly Stafford, wife of Matthew Stafford, was on the radio and said this, quote, "I'm not going to lie. I have never seen so many of the opposing team's fans at a game. We came from Detroit, and there were a lot of traveling teams there, but that was wild in Week 18. Matthew was on a silent count. Jimmy Garoppolo was not, and he's the opposing quarterback. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like that." SoFi in Week 18 for San Francisco was so good for the Niners. And as San Francisco was embarking on that 17-0 comeback, you could feel the momentum in the building start to change. You could feel and hear the fan base on hand making noise and making things really hard for Matthew Stafford and that Rams offense. The fact that the home quarterback had to go to a silent count where basically he's not able to communicate with the center when to snap the ball is crazy, and Jimmy Garoppolo didn't have to do that, is very, very impressive. And with the stakes so high in the NFC Championship game on Sunday, the Rams, as an organization, are scared that history is going to repeat itself and it's going to be a sea of red in Southern California. This is what the Rams sent out to their fan base on their website, and I'm actually going to pull it up because I have to read it because it's absolutely crazy, and this all has to do with the Rams ticket sales. So they said this in a memo Before they even beat the Bucs, by the way, public sales to the game at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, will be restricted to residents of the greater Los Angeles region. Residency will be based on credit card billing address at checkout. Orders by residents outside of the greater LA region will be canceled without notice and refunds given. That right there is so soft. It's soft as charming. And really, the Rams as a franchise are just quaking in their boots. And you know what's crazy? It's not even going to matter, because on the secondary websites where you can cop tickets, they're not limiting ticket sales. Now, Ticketmaster was originally, they're not any longer. And this graphic to my right is a great indication that there is going to be a sea of red at the NFC Championship game to help lift San Francisco to Super Bowl 56, which, by the way, will once again take place at SoFi Stadium. There are seats available in almost every area of SoFi Stadium. And some of the upper bowl seats are going for as much as $700 to $800. So Rams fans aren't buying these tickets. They're not going like hotcakes. They're leaving the door open for San Francisco to go in there and make this a home away from home game for the Niners, which is crazy. And the Rams fan base and the wives of players and Rams accounts have also been in shambles. This coming from Downtown Rams. An immediate reminder, do not sell your tickets. Make SoFi Rams house. Give our guys home field advantage in the championship, not the other team. Melissa Whitworth, wife of left tackle Andrew Whitworth. If you Rams fans want to sell your tickets, I'll buy them. Just do not sell them to the other team, please. Isn't this really sad? If San Francisco is hosting the NFC Championship game at Levi Stadium, there wouldn't be any tickets available because San Francisco has a real fan base, not a fraudulent fan base. Those right there are facts. LA is a transplant city. They're a bunch of frauds. San Francisco, they ain't. They're ride or die. Red and gold till we're dead and cold. Facts. How about what Frank Gore had to say? Because Joe Staley had quote tweeted what Mrs. Whitworth had to say. Frank said, "Joe, let's do this. Rams fans, Joe and I are ready to buy all of your tickets, straight cash, faithful to the Bay, forever grateful." And Deebo Samuel said this: "I get that we turned SoFi into Levi's, but restricting fans from buying tickets is crazy to me. I'm just saying." Kyle Juszczyk, Juice, can't wait to see our faithful show out in SoFi. So the Rams can take whatever steps that they want to take. My message to y'all, it ain't going to matter, baby, because Niner fans are still going to take over the stadium, and it's going to be loud in favor of San Francisco. Now, with the Niners, we're going to see a sea of red for a multitude of reasons. 49ers, unlike the Rams, are an iconic fan base. 5 Super Bowl titles, second all time in the NFL behind the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots. 1 Super Bowl away from tying it up at 6 for a 3-way tie. The fan base travels everywhere, and we see this week in, week out, no matter where the Niners play. That San Francisco logo, the red and gold, it's a nationwide brand. And try what you want to do, LA. Like I said, it ain't going to matter. There's going to be a sea of red at SoFi. You can limit those ticket sales. There's always a way to beat the system. And that has been a motto for me throughout my entire life, and why I've been able to evade rules as well. Shh. Don't tell anybody. Niner fans, take the same approach. Show your colors. Get into the comments section. I want everybody watching right now to type Beat LA and spam it multiple times if you have to. Make those Rams fans continue to shiver because they're so scared. They're just gonna crumble. Bye-bye. We out.